What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Spencer, and welcome back to Advice, the show without a name. Valuing things can get messy because we're allowed to value anything we want. That whole free will fallacy and whatnot. There's the basic stuff like valuing friends and family, and I'm not going to bring that up today. I think me telling you to love your family seems very basic. So with that, I want to run through the main things I value that are a little bit more down the iceberg or have a larger scope. This may sound like a really stupid one to start with, but I value the little things that help me throughout the day. The computer I'm writing this on, the mic I'm using to talk into, that fridge that ruins my recording when it turns back on. Being able to come back to the same room for 3 years in a row. I'm not a big fan of possessions, just ask my family, but what I do have, I value because I couldn't do the stuff like this show without the old Call of Duty games I use for background footage. Without the things around me, I wouldn't have the ability to do what I love. Being real. I don't know if you figured it out from the show yet, but being real is like my entire thing. Sometimes that's a negative. When you say what's on your mind, it's not always positive, but for the majority of the time, I think valuing honesty is always the right way to go. It makes you feel that much more authentic. You should value your past. Even though you may have moved on, history gets etched in stone. You can't change who you were back then, and that's okay. You need to value the lessons you learned along the way. Learn from your mistakes because without it, history is doomed to repeat itself. Value where you came from, your culture. That's just as much your history as anything. That defined at least such an early part of my life, and there's plenty of things to reference if need be. You can't answer everything, so sometimes it's just best to go off of experiences. And that's the definition of the past. What you can learn. We see new things or new information every day from a list that's so grand I couldn't get to the end here. We learn new stuff all the time, and you should always value that because maybe that small piece of trivia or dumb historical fact can swing around again. And appreciating our education, schooling, and everything happening around us seems a lot better than valuing useless crypto advice. And finally, the big one. Value life. We only get one, but it's a long time. At the moment, the day may not seem useful, but always try to find enjoyment in life, even when things are at their darkest. It's a cliche, but you gotta hold on to hope. You keep that positive outlook, present yourself as positive. Self-fulfillment is always going to be hard to figure out, but if you value yourself, your attitude, your beliefs, life is going to seem a whole lot better. And it'll make everything just a little bit better. And that's really all you need to get over the hump. And that's what I'm going to call for today's episode. What do you value? Is it an obscure thing, or do you tread the line like everyone else? If you feel like I missed anything, put it below. I would love to talk about it with you. And if you want your questions answered, please email me at koboltuxadvice@gmail.com for a nameless read. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.